This is the exact 5-step process that I use to stay hot and interesting during medical residency because just as you know, I refuse to feel dumb and ugly at the same time. I also refuse to feel dumb and boring at the same time. Number one, just to set, the basics down, you have to plan cool shit on your day off. You may only have one a week, but you have to romanticize it. So that means planning to go to a museum or a show or a sports game. It can be a boozy brunch. It could be like if you're alone on your day off, something simple, but just romanticize it. Like on my day off, when it was a Tuesday and no one else was around, I would go to Washington Square Park in New York City. I would bring a blanket, a book, and a bottle of champagne. And I would just vibe and hang out. Like you have to do fun and interesting and romantic stuff on your day off. You can't just sleep and watch Netflix. I'm sorry. Speaking of books, the second step is to read, and ideally fiction. I know it is so easy to come home after a long day at work and just turn on Netflix, but reading is just so much more satisfying. It is better for your brain, and it is so much more chic and interesting in a conversation to mention a book that you're reading versus a series that you're watching. I also think it's a much more romantic ritual. Like you can put on some really nice pajamas, you can put on a candle, some music, just sit on your couch and read. It's beautiful. Number 3, this is gonna sound intimidating, but I do strongly believe in going on dates and having some sort of romantic connection in your life, even if it's not with the intention of finding a partner. Like this theory that Tinks has about the scent, and it's basically this energy that sort of falls over you when you are dating consistently. And I really think there's some truth to it, that there's this sort of aura that you have after you go on a date that makes you more interesting to yourself, most importantly, and also to others. Even if the date is just like, okay. Step 4 is going to sound like a little bit of an outlier, but that is bringing more of your non-medicine, non-work interests into your work life. I found that remembering who I was and what my interests are, like even in an interaction with patients, like I like to talk to patients about pets or sports or other things that I'm interested in. And I think they really like it too. And then what's cool is they actually add a lot and you end up learning so much about your patients. Like where I went to residency, there were so many people from other countries, and just getting into even brief conversations about where they're from, where they grew up, what their childhood was like. Obviously, you don't have time to spend an hour, but even 5 extra minutes when you have the time, if you're rounding in the afternoon, it just makes your workday and therefore your life so much more interesting. And then lastly, I will die on this hill. You really need strong friendships outside of medicine, and you need to invest in those friendships even when you are at your busiest, like in the thick of it. Obviously, yes, it is so important to have support from people who are going through the exact same thing as you and understand completely, but it is just as important to be able to show up to drinks with the girls and hear just wildly different stories from every single person because their lives are so different for yours. I think that just makes life so much more interesting, and it helps you be a more interesting and well-rounded person.